Hey everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino, back again for my lovely newest segment of Markets, a Look Ahead. Lots of stuff to talk about here, so I suppose we should get started. However, I should also say the date. It is Sunday, September 9th, 2018. So, what I'm going to ask you to do, if you're not there already, is click on the link in the description of this video. It will take you to my website. I want you to watch this video there, and we are going to look at a bunch of charts and try to make some sense of what's coming down the pike here. And I'm happy to do this. So, anyway, let's see what we got. I am now on my lovely website. Let's put a couple of perspectives on things before we even move forward. Last week, this market fell under some pressure. Gold and silver did fall. We had the last several days a significant slam with regard to cryptocurrencies, for which I outlined for every single one of you would happen before it did. I had written an article on Steemit. I said, watch for a short-lived smackdown with regard to cryptocurrencies 5 days before it occurred. And we are there now. So anyway, I did write an article with regard to cryptocurrencies, gold and silver, and I did post it on Steemit. So if you do not follow my work on Steemit, I would suggest you do that as well. I do post articles there quite often. Alright, now let's get started and try to understand what this market's going to do this week. Alright, let's start off with this. Let's look right underneath this video at my swing trading chart and then go right below that. This gauge here, where it says below current technical position of the S&P 500 week, since I put this up here, it's never been wrong, not one time. Again, this is a weekly take on what the market should be doing. Okay, if you notice here, at this time, we have, I would say, a weak buy signal. And I think that's going to play out this week, believe it or not, despite the geopolitical, I don't even know the word, things that are occurring right now. It's pretty much off the freaking Richter scale. And things are not going to get better. And a lot of this is going to be hidden from the American public. You know that. It's already there. There's a media blackout with regard to anything that is going on outside of right here in the United States. You're not being allowed to see the European issues, the European bank issues, Turkey, other emerging markets. Nope. Can't see it. So if you don't see it, it doesn't exist. You got it? It's very simple. It's how they play the game on every single one of us. But knowing that, what we're seeking to do, especially if you live here in the United States, is capitalize on these markets. Well, let's pay attention to this. So this gauge here, pay attention to it. If you do nothing else on this page, it's incredible. This gauge will tell you more than likely, I mean, 100% so far, what this market's going to do. Now let's look up to this swing trading chart. This is the S&P 500. If you notice, there's SPX in there. That's the S&P 500. Screaming uptrend continues here. I believe we are going to see some pretty epic things this week. And what I'm referring to, number one, look right over here to the bond market chart. What do you see? We had a hardcore sell-off. There were several attempts to prop up that bond market. On Friday, didn't work. So what did they do? They started buying stocks. Dow Jones Industrial Average was down about 180 points. All of a sudden, a wave of buying came in when they could not prop up that bond market. So look, it's pretty simple to understand. This market has no bearing on reality whatsoever. There is no price discovery mechanism behind one single asset. That's the truth. So we are going to take advantage of this fakery. That's our strength. We know the market's not real. We know they're going to prop it up, doing whatever they have to do. So that's just the way it's going to happen. World central banks colluding together to keep global markets propped up, to keep the people, you and I, buried under an ever-exploding mountain of debt. I mean, it's incredible. You keep hearing about some type of an economic recovery that we're supposed to be in here in the United States. Meanwhile, we've never been here before with regard to debt, household debt, consumer debt, debts on a grander scale, national debts, deficits. It's unbelievable. What has recovered is corporate America. Corporate America is richer today by exponents than it's ever been. But, we're supposed to be in an economic recovery. Or actually, it's a boom now. Meanwhile, an article was just put out on Market Watch where 40% of Americans are struggling to either pay rent or buy food. I guess they did not get the memo that this is as good as it gets. It's a joke. It's as good as it gets for corporate America. For you and I, not so much, unfortunately. And that's just the way it's going to play out. There's no doubt about it. So, before I go off on a tangent, you can expect a few things to happen this week. I mean, that's what this is really all about. Number one, you see this bond market chart? I want you to watch this during the week. You are going to see, in my view, an incredible effort made to prop up the bond market. Again, they will keep rates suppressed at all costs. It doesn't matter. So they don't care if you have a savings account, an interest earning account of any kind. They will make sure interest rates stay suppressed so you will not benefit from having any cash in an interest earning account. Doesn't matter. They need cash moving into that stock market to keep the illusion real. That's how dumbed down people are. They see the stock market higher. They think everything is great. Unless, of course, you want to let 40% of Americans who cannot, who are struggling to either pay rent or buy food. It's incredible. You can also expect the dollar to either stay where it is or they're going to find a way to pressure it. Unless, of course, geopolitical events escalate. Then you will see the dollar get stronger and an even greater effort will be put into propping up those bonds. They have to do it in order to keep things moving. If they don't, this entire thing, this entire environment that we are in will correct to fair value. And it's going to be an event that's going to be talked about for decades, if not longer than that. It might be the event of the century. That's the truth. So let's look at a couple of other things. I want you to go to my swing trading chart right here. You see where it says SPX? I want you to put in GLD, enter. All right. What is this? This is the paper derivative of gold. What do you see here? It is in an incredible, screaming downtrend. Let's do the same thing. We just put in GLD. Let's go SLV, enter. Just about says it all, doesn't it? I don't think this is going to end anytime soon. The paper derivative market of gold and silver is not on the elemental chart. It is completely fake. I mean, when you see large orders of the paper derivative dumped onto the market, this is not the real asset. People have a hard time understanding that. This is something that does not, it's completely fake. It does not exist. But meanwhile, these paper derivatives string along the price of the physical asset. It's a disgusting scenario, but it's the truth. Good. Let them play their game with it. And the game that they're playing, they're going to lose. It's just a matter of time. They already, look, The issue with regard to gold and silver and what they're doing to it right now, they are so desperate to keep its price suppressed based in dollars. Understand, the dollar is also an asset here which is not on the elemental chart. It does not exist. There's only 1.7 trillion of actual printed dollars that exist on the earth. The rest of it, again, it's not real. It exists on a computer screen. It's unbelievable, but it's the truth. Anyway, all of this is going to become real at one time, and there is just no doubt about it. All right, look, in summary, this week, you can expect hardcore propping up of that bond market. You can expect the dollar to, I would say I'm kind of neutral on the dollar right now, depending on geopolitical events, but the bond market is where you want to be looking. That bond market chart is where you want to be looking. That is the truth. And that is going to, again, pretty much dictate where stocks are going to go. This is the environment we're in. It's an engineered environment of risk, period. That's the way it's going to play out. All right, with that said, I hope you found this interesting. And I will see you tomorrow morning, and that's going to be even more interesting. See ya.